Hello, I'm John Gaver with Allegiance Books. I posted this image out on several Facebook pages having to do with Affinity products, Affinity Photo, and other stuff. And I got some feedback from it, and a couple of people have asked me, well, would you do a video showing how you created this? And I put it out there and said how many people would be interested, and a lot of people said, hey, I'm interested. So here's what I'm going to do. I do the book covers for all the books for Allegiance Books. I created that logo using a lot of the same techniques I'm going to show you right here. I'm going to do this real fast. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm starting with an Arial bold font. I'm going to convert the text to curves, adjust and join the curves. Here's your adjustments at the bottom. I'm joining the curves right there. And then I'm going to do some tricks to create a mask and to create a mask from a selection. I'm going to import a pattern that's going to be used on the face. It's the wrong color, so we're going to recolor it. Then we're going to use a curve to brighten the face pattern, probably go back and play with the colors a little more. Then create a basic FX bevel on the lower layer and we'll use a curve to make the bevel really, really shine. So here we are. This is what we're going for, except I'm going to kind of cut that right there. The only difference I'm going to do. Fast, quick, from scratch. Here you go, letter. That's good enough. I'm going to create a artistic text. Here, that's probably the right size. I want it bold. It's Arial. I'm going to make it bold, and I'm going to make it gold. I have a shortcut here. Don't worry about the shortcut. What you need to remember is FFD700 is gold. And you can do this in a gray and make it silver or chrome or something. I'll make this just a little bit larger here. There we go. Option and drag, and select the whole thing. I need to line the H up with the I, and that's going to put this Y too far over, but I've got some extra space after the I and the N, so I'll select the I and the N. Here we go. Go into the character dialog, and I'm going to reduce the distance between those characters. And let's see, that's about right. What is that, 26? Yeah, that's pretty good. It looks like there's a good distance here. I'm going to have to realign the H with the I now. I'm going to go in and get it right spot on the money here. Yep, I think that is lined up. And that's going to be the right space there. That's pretty good. So now we're going to select both of them and convert to curves. Close this character window. These are all curves now, but they're in groups, and I don't want them in groups. So with both groups selected, I'll right-click and ungroup. Now I have them all together, and I can work with them together. I'm going to go in and do my adjustments of the bottoms first and the top of the H. So I'm going to click. Now I'm going to shift-click each one of the rest. Shift-click the left-hand side of each one. I'm also going to adjust this H to match this one, so I'm going to click the left-hand side of the top of that one, and then I click the left-hand side of each of these. Now all I have to do is click any one of these, and they all adjust the same way. I'm going to hold the Shift key down because I want to go straight up, and there we have it. And I like that angle. That's good enough. You can be very specific if you want to later. Now I'm going to go to these F's, and I'm going to click without the shift, hold shift key down and click that one, and join those two. Now I'm going to unclick out of all of them and just click these two F's, and I'm going to go to Geometry and Add. Now I can go over to this A, and I'm going to click on this corner right there, and I'm going to break the curve, and I'm going to click on that, hold the shift key down and move it to the left. Holding the shift key keeps it either horizontal or vertical. You can also lock it to 45 degrees, and I'll move this one down to that handle down to this one. I've got snapping turned on. That allows that to happen that way. And now we can go to this one, and I'm going to click in here. I don't want to click and drag because that's going to make a curve. I'm going to click, then I'm going to come back and drag. I'm going to click here and come back and drag this down and makes contact with that one. And I'll click on this handle, and it comes down and snaps to that one. Now I'll select the T as well. Now both are selected. Right click, Geometry and Add. And this now becomes one curve as well. I'm going to click on this one, this one, this one, that one, and that one. They're all four going to be converted to smart curves. Okay. Convert to smart. This one needs to be straightened out. I'm going to hold the shift key down. Oops, come on. There we go. Hold the shift key down and straighten that up a little bit. I'm going to bring it up a little higher than that one. Still with the shift key down. Click on this one, straighten it up as well. Shift key goes to 90 degrees. Click on this one. I'm not using the shift key because I want to line it up with these over here. And I'm going to click on this one and not using the shift key. Get it kind of lined up with those, and I'm going to move this over a little bit. And I would say that's getting pretty close. This one needs to come down a little bit, I believe. Bring this over slightly. That's pretty good. You can tweak it if you want to, but that's going to be good enough for what we're doing today. Now I've got 11 layers here. I'm going to click on the top one, click on the bottom one. Now I could say I'm going to group them. What I could do is come down here and say rasterize, but I'd end up with 11 rasterized layers. I want to group them, and let's call it X. I don't need anything in particular. And now I will rasterize the group, and I end up with one rasterized layer. That's what I'm going to start with. I'm going to duplicate that layer. And this second layer on top here is just going to be temporary. I'm going to create an FX outline. I want an inside outline. I'm going to move that out, and you'll see it can get too thick real easy. I'm going to run this actually at 18. That's what I did on the other video that describes this in much more detail. And exit out of that. And I'm going to raster. This is a raster layer. So see there, it's a pixel layer. But right there it is, pixel layer. But I'm going to rasterize it again because that outline is still an FX, and I want to flatten that FX. So I have to uncheck this box. So the FX will be flattened to the layer. So now I can use the wand tool over here. I'm going to select non-contiguous and zero tolerance. And you see that now it's only the gold has been selected. If I hadn't rasterized this layer first, it would have selected all the way out to the black. The whole purpose of this was to get to this selection right here. Now I'll click the mask, and that mask masks everything below it. So I'm going to group these two because I don't want to mask the bottom layer. So group those two, and the mask only affects the face layer. Group the face group. I'm going to hit the escape key and get rid of that selection. And now I'm also going to get rid of this layer. I don't need that anymore. And I'm going to bring in a new layer. That one would work, but I'm going to try this one here. Doesn't matter what the color is, as long as it has the pattern that you want. And I'll bring this right down below that mask. Come on, face. Oh, this one, there we go. Now I'll hit escape, V, and I'll drag this to where it covers the A over here. I'm going to hit shift and drag and size it. Now normally I would tile this. It's a tileable image, but I'm not going to tile it here for what we're doing. It just takes time. And now I'm going to select this layer and recolor it because it's not gold. And we're going to go to recolor. And I happen to know that gold is 51 degrees. And there we have gold. It's a little bit funny color right now, but we're going to come back and fix that. Now, still clicked on the recolor, we're going to create a curve. And you want your curve to look something like this. Doesn't matter, just kind of like that. I'm going to drag this down a little maybe. Sort of like an airplane wing, think of it that way. And it makes it a little shiny, but it still doesn't look natural. Now I can go back in. Now that I have my shiny set up, I want a little more of my texture in there. I can run this down to say, 80 something. Ooh, now I'm getting some of that texture in there. I can drop this down, maybe too much. I want to leave that up. I'm going to drop my saturation down. There we go. Ooh. Since it's shiny, it's supposed to tend towards the white. But I've still got texture on it. That's not bad. You can play with it, do what you want. Next thing, we're going to go into our bottom layer. We're going to create an FX, and this time we're going to create a bevel emboss. We don't want pillow, we want inner, just like the other one, and we want it to be the same width that we used for our outline, which was 18 pixels in this case. We're also going to create a flat bevel. You see this looks rounded in here, flat bevel. And I'm going to move the light that's coming from the upper left to the upper right. This is just for demonstration purposes, 45 degrees, because when I do curves, it's going to work along that same line as this is. I'm also going to create an outer shadow, about 10%. Typically is a good one. And I'm going to move my radius up until I start getting a nice shadow out here. It's not offset at this point in time. Okay, I would say that's pretty good. And I'm going to set my angle here for 225 degrees, which is opposite of 45, where the light's coming from. That's where I want my shadow. Now I'm going to zoom in on this, and I want this to go away. Move the offset down. Now, is it gone away? Yep. Well, you see just a little bit. I want to see just a little bit more. I'm bringing it back now, but very little. The reason, that's good. The reason is this is going to go almost to white, and I want there to be some barrier between this white and this white. So that's going to be good enough. Now we're going to have fun. Curves. And before I do anything with curves, I'm going to group these two. I'm going to call this the Bevel group. And I'm going to here. Now watch what happens here. I'm going to put in 6 dots. Sometimes I will use 8, sometimes I can use 4. But most times I find that 6 dots along here works, and they're going to be alternating. This spot here is where it starts. This down here is where it ends. That's why I wanted 45 degrees. So if I move this down, this gets darker. If I move it left, it gets lighter. See that? So I'm going to move this just a little to the left. That's too much. Okay. Oh, by the way, you can do some very avant-garde stuff with this. I'd say that's about right. I'm going to bring it down a little bit, which darken that area slightly. I'm going to bring this up to the top. And you see, look at that. The reflections are beginning to come in. But watch what happens if I go too hard with some of these. Yeah, there it goes, real avant-garde. Don't want to do that. Anyway, bring this down slightly, and you see what's happening here, though. I've got reflections here. See where that's affecting this reflection right in that corner? I wanted that down a little bit. That's up. Now I bring this one up a little more. And see, that's affecting this area. Don't want it too high, but I want it a little brighter than it is. Right in there, maybe. Now, if we come down below, we can come look at this H at the bottom here. This is pretty close to right. Let's see. See, I can make it brighter down there now. I want that about there, I think. And then this I want a little bit brighter. And that looks pretty good, except for these artifacts here. We're going to go in and fix that, but before we do, this is almost white. Now, if you want it white, here's a trick. Go to blue, click somewhere up near the top of the blue line, just raise it just ever so slightly. See what happened? Just that little bit, and it goes to white, or close to white. I can bring the rest of the blue down. All I needed was that little part up at the top. So, little trick you can use there. But now, we've got to get rid of these artifacts, and the very simple way to do that is go back into FX and run our soften up, and we'll run soften up to about half of that number, so a little less than 9. And you see, look what happens there. See? All of a sudden, you get this real neat reflection. Look at the H as we do this. See that? And I found that, let's try that. That looks pretty good right there. We still have enough reflection in here. We have a hot spot right there, which is what we wanted. And we've got a nice reflection all through. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Affinity Photo, and oh, you know what I didn't do? I should have brought these two up, but I could have brought these two up and had it come very close to that one, but I didn't do it. But there you have it. If you want to watch the other one, there's a longer version, but this one's done. So thank you very much. I'm John Gaver for Allegiance Books. Happy designing.